Alrighty. So now that we have done that, here we are once again, chat, as we yet again tackle the process of figuring out what the best tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are. We've been here many times before, and frankly, I don't expect a whole lot to have changed. I'm not going to have a full discussion for most of these. I have several videos doing that already, but I will be going over ones that I think my opinion has changed on. That's kind of the main thing I'm really thinking here. Um, but before we get there, I think this will be easier if I work from the most recent tier list and figure it out from there. So I think 6-3 is what we're looking for. This does not look like the right list. I could be wrong. I think this is the wrong list. I think this is the wrong list. But I don't see a different one. Is this really the same? Hold on. I'm gonna check one more thing. I think I showed a list at the very end, didn't I? The very end of my video. Is this the same list? Because this doesn't make any sense. Doesn't feel like it makes any sense. I apologize for me getting situated here, but I will figure it out and it will be okay. Um, don't worry about it. All right. All right. At the very end, closing thought. Did I ever show a final tier list in this video? Did I really not? Okay, I did. I don't know where this image ended up, but I don't see it on my computer anymore, which is confusing. Um, I have a way of finding it. Because it has to be saved somewhere, right? I apologize for the. I mean, I guess it's fine, but like, this is the editing part of the stream. We don't care about viewership here. Do I have the final version of it anywhere? I will find it. We'll get there. BCP2. This is what we're looking for. Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this into the folder where I was looking because I was very, very confused. It was just not in the right folder. But I did in fact find it. So get the most recent version of this, which was. No, you can't do this to me. It was right there. I just pasted it into the folder. Why don't you see it? Why am I the only one that sees it? Wait, this isn't the right folder. I'm so confused. I was so close. Been 4 months to manage to properly catch my streams. Is it really? I mean, actually, I don't stream a whole lot. I for a while I've not been streaming even like at all. So I guess I can't be that surprised. All right. Finally found it. All right. So, we have our comparison here. Um this is what we're starting from. Um can I fit this on screen somewhere where it's legible but not annoying? Um I don't know, but what I do know is that I do want to get the music going here. I probably should have done that minutes ago, but it's fine. Um, I'm going to go ahead and put out a reply that, done with Pizza Tower for the night. Moving on to moving on to making my final MK8DX track tier list. Because everybody loves track tier lists. Now, what I don't look forward to is re-recording and doing all sorts of other stuff for any of these. I probably am just going to add like a small addendum piece to whatever I had recorded, because I think that works. But yeah. Alright. That much has been said and done. Shut up, other TJ. We can close these two tabs and go back to this. So, excuse me. I hope that I'm not going to be at this for too long, because for the most part, I'm just going to be organizing things based off of what I already have. And you've done when I wake or head to college, so so you turn it on, then lurk. You're out. I mean, fair enough. Happens. It definitely happens. However, it happens. All right. Can I do presentation mode? That just makes the problem worse. Maybe I do ASMR room for this. That's not the right one. Here we go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. We're gonna move some stuff around here. I think that the whole point of this particular section is that it allows me to... Why the fuck is that what the window is shaped like? That makes absolutely no sense. What the fuck is happening here? That does not... Okay, I'm just gonna full on fix some things here. Don't mind me. Transform, reset, transform. Why is it doing that? Why is the window changing its shape like that? That just does not make any sense. I've never seen it do this before, and I'm frankly really confused. It's never done this before, where it's like, to give you an idea, thank you for the follow, Autumn Heights. I've never seen it do this before, where I'm just trying to change how my VTuber is fitting on screen, and instead it's doing this really fucking weird thing where I'm not even fully in the box I'm trying to transform, which is very fucking strange. Like, this is when I reset transform, which should make it so that I'm in the middle of the screen, and it does this. I don't know why that's what it's trying to do. The scuff is real, and I don't know why. The anchor point is nowhere near where it's supposed to be. I'll fix it another day. For now, I'll just get it closest to what I can do. I don't know why... Is it happening like this for everything? What the fuck? Okay. Never mind any of this. I'm just gonna go ahead and... We're just gonna use the regular model of the stream. It's gonna be scuffed. It's fine, because none of this is gonna get used for a video anyway. I don't know why it's like this, but I'm just going to give up on it. Hold on. I do have one other thing I can try. Is it possibly to do with the way the windows are? I think it is the way the windows are. If I reset transform of the windows, this is a risky thing to do, but I can always control Z if it's bad. Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, yeah, okay. There we go. That's slightly less confusing now. Alright, so... And then what I can do here is I can add the image from before. The this guy. We can have this as a reference here. We can put this in the corner and we'll understand it as we're looking. In order to make it not take up everything, I'm gonna crop it so that things are nice and understandable. There we go. Hi, Maple. How's it going? I am getting started on my final tier list for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Hopefully this isn't going to be as long as the first time I ranked all of the tracks, where or any of the times, honestly, because those took like me 8 hours or something. Here I am largely just going to be using my current list as a reference and making changes where I deem necessary. That's the idea. And so, to no one's surprise, Dry Desert is at the very bottom. A track so poorly designed that there's not even a point in taking any of the races seriously. It's literally a meme where I browse Tumblr instead of racing. That's where that's at, to no one's surprise. And next, after that, we have the opposite problem with Toad's Turnpike, wherever that is. I will find it. Toad's Turnpike, which has the opposite problem, where the race is determined in the first, like, 30 seconds for the most part, because I am not going to elaborate on all of these. I've already talked about them in the video, but yeah, giving my Switch 2 pre-order to Chair because I realize I don't actually give a shit about any of the launch games. That's nice. Hell yeah. I don't know if I'm buying a Switch 2 at launch. I'll be honest. At least not at launch, but like, I don't have a lot of money to throw around, and I think that shows. I put N64 Marode all the way next, and while I don't know if it deserves that, it's at least a good baseline. Excitebike I had an F tier. That's probably going to change. I don't exactly know how much, but I think I preemptively am okay with moving it to D tier, and we'll figure out where exactly it falls later on. I'm not going to go into all of my reasonings for all of these changes, if I can avoid it, because I don't want to be here forever. The only real incentive is maybe homebrew, considering my early Switch, your Switch 1 is still hardware moddable. Yeah, mine is too. You don't think wheelchair game? I forgot about wheelchair game, dude. Wheelchair game is so funny. Alright, so then we have Wario Stadium is here. Yeah, very much deserves its place in F tier. Sweet Sweet Canyon, at one point was deserving of D tier, but then we got Merry Mountain, which just does which takes the only good thing that Sweet Sweet Canyon really has going for it, and just does it better. So it's just completely outclassed in my opinion, because it's just really long and nothing ever happens. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Moonview Highway, unfortunately very disappointing. Not a whole lot to build off of that. Mario Kart Stadium, does it really deserve F tier? I think it deserves F tier. At the end of the day, these are my opinions, even if I do use design principles to support them. And that's just kind of how it is. Now, Morbius is a very interesting case, because I've realized over time that it it is just a Mobius strip, and it is very boring. But at the same time, it does have some decently fun off-road cuts, and I'm willing to move it up to D, maybe even get it up to C tier, weirdly enough. But it's just so nothing that I kind of just... There's not really a reason to care all that much, is what I've come to realize. I just now realized Oren's behind this window. I should move that. Let's get Orin up here. Behind me. There we go. Alrighty. But, like, yeah, it's... Morbius does something, I guess. Then we have Sunshine Airport. Yeah, that's just kind of shit. This kind of shit, and not redeemable. We have Water Park, which I think I am just going to say deserves F tier at this point. And if I'm not mistaken, that should be all of the F tiers, so I think this is a perfect time to do some moving around if I feel it necessary. I think Moonview Highway gets the OST boost, where the OST at the end of the day is really fucking good. So that's the one thing that stops it from being complete and utter shit. Sunshine Airport's been on the rise because of the fact that it does have that one grass cut, even if that grass cut comes at the cost of making you give up an item box, and unlike Donut Plains, it's not in a good way. It's just kind of like the only way you have any chance to catch up whatsoever is by skipping an item, and you just have to pray that someone behind you doesn't pull a red shell. So it's something, but it's really not a whole lot to write home about. Mario Kart Stadium probably offends me the least of all of these after Sunshine Airport, because Sunshine Airport has something going for it. I'd rather something... Water Park is like Sweet Sweet Canyon, but faster, so I'm kind of more inclined to support that, but I'll push it up. Because I guess there is a shortcut on Sweet Sweet Canyon, I guess. Wario Stadium, it is a technical track that's just like, it's just the time trialer's paradise, but it's at least somewhat fun to drive if you're not disrupted, but heavy load-bearing if there, because you will be disrupted if you race Wario Stadium, and it's never fun the way you're disrupted, but the lines are fine, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm good with that F tier. So after that, yes, of course, Tokyo Blur. Tokyo Blur, I think, yeah, it holds up its spot at the very bottom. Then we get Hyrule Circuit. That's going to be up here somewhere. Hyrule Circuit is a track that's like, it kind of does its job, but it's just, all I think about when I see Hyrule Circuit is the Nisk that I swear just sometimes decides not to work. It doesn't feel good to do. It reminds me of like the shortcut of, it reminds me of like a less fun version of like the BC3 cut in Wii. It's just kind of there. I don't know why. I'm not happy about it. We have Baby Park, which I think Baby Park in this tier list is going to be hand in hand with Excitebike, wherever that is. I don't know what, I think Excitebike probably comes out on top. Honestly, Morbius is proving to be better than I thought it was going to end up being. Cloud Top Cruise probably deserves the F tier, honestly. I might move Cloud Top Cruise down to F tier. Because I talk so much slander about Cloud Top Cruise and how nothing ever happens. And honestly, I have humored the people who like the Mario Galaxy motif long enough. I'm willing to admit this track just kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. It's just like a couple narrow corridors. It does have like the one cut at the end that you can do shroomless, but it's so little of a challenge that it has no reason. There's Boost Panel Hell. It has the same Boost Panel Hell problem as Moonview Highway. There's not really anything going for Cloud Top Cruise, and God, it's just so boring and never goes anywhere. But at least I will put it above Mario Kart Stadium. I think it at least deserves to be above Mario Kart Stadium. Because it does have a couple of neat things, I guess. But when it comes down to it, Cloud Top Cruise really is a track that I just do nothing but slander. Singapore. Ooh, yes. That's a funny one. Oh boy. Alright. I gotta find where Singapore is. Yeah, this track, it's really just a whole lot to look at. And that's all that it really is. It's just something to look at. I'll give it I will say it will succeed in passing the gatekeeper that is Excitebike Baby Park. Because I think it shows a lot more attempts at stuff, even if none of them really mean much. It's a noble attempt, and that's what matters. Bangkok also, I think, deserves to be pretty much. I mean, it's a D tier for sure, but it's like, which one would I prefer to race out of Bangkok and Singapore? I think I'd prefer to race Singapore, but I think Bangkok is more interesting, inherently interesting. TikTok clock. This is a weird conundrum I have found myself in. I might push TikTok clock up into C tier, because as much as funny as the little meltdown I liked throwing in is, and how like there's so much weird shit you just have to kind of accept about TikTok clock. At the end of the day, I guess it is front run hell, but there's a lot of tracks that are that, and I don't feel like I have as much of a grudge against TikTok clock these days. I'll come back to it, and we'll see if that's where I want to keep it. DK Jungle, there's not really an excuse for this track. Just kind of not very good. Jungle Hijinks just kind of is here. I'll even put Morbius above it. Fuck it. Like, Morbius has proven that it can have some pretty interesting stuff happen on it, even if the actual design of the track is very inherently uninteresting. Wario's Goldmine, I think I'm gonna probably put it down here with the Hyrule Circuit Tokyo Blur. Like, they butchered this track. Like, I think about racing Wario's Goldmine, and I just don't want to. Like, full stop. That's where things end. Squeaky Clean Sprint. This is, yeah, that's also going there. Did I miss anything? I feel like I'm missing something. I think I skipped one, didn't I? Because the natural math of how this works out is missing something, huh? But this doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm missing Rock Mountain. I glossed over Rock Mountain. Yeah, that can go there. I think that pretty much wraps up that, I'd say. Because I think all of these... is DK Jungle... I think DK Jungle does not pass the gatekeeper of Baby Park Excitebike. The rest of these, I think, we're getting close to where I no longer dislike them. So, I think that's where we're at with that. Phone. But who was on phone? But how was phone? I see. Alright. So, that's our D tier from before. Let's move up to that C tier. Don't know what I just moved there, but it wasn't the right thing. Alright. C tier and B tier here. Alright. So, referencing the most recent tier list, we had Cheap Beach, which is inoffensive to say the least. But looking at the gatekeeper that was Cheap Beach, I think I'm willing to upgrade TikTok Clock to being above Cheap Beach. I like Cheap Beach, or sorry, I like TikTok Clock more than Cheap Beach at this point. And I think I'm willing to, congratulations, I think I'm willing to say I don't hate TikTok Clock anymore. It's an interesting enough track, and there's just weird shit, but like, when you're playing Mario Kart 8, when isn't there weird shit? Now, Piranha Plant Cove might dip back down into D tier. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna hate racing on Piranha Plant Cove, even if I think it does have front run problems. But I think at the end of the day, it's fine enough. I think Piranha Plant Cove this time around will be our C tier gatekeeper, because I think it's a mostly fine track, bogged down by a couple of things that are annoying. Yeah. Mushroom George. Ooh. Mushroom George. Do I dare push Mushroom George down into D tier? I don't think I can justify that, because I think overall it still is interesting enough. It's just a design atrocity. It's a fun track, but it's also a design atrocity. And God, it's just a fucking complicated ass situation to find myself in. I'm just gonna put it right there above Piranha Plant Slide and move on with my life, because I will tear my hair out otherwise. Electrodrome, I think, yeah, I don't know what you expect. It does what it needs to. Ice Outpost. I feel like this has just been a very long, slow fall into just not being good. And, like, I think it deserves to be... I mean, I guess it's there. I guess it doesn't really change all that much. But it just does not have much of a place. Shy Guy Falls, yeah, I think it makes sense to have this above well, no, I think it below Electrodrome, but otherwise mostly the same. Not a whole lot else. After that, this is gonna be a controversial one. Because now we have Wildwoods. And I have only soured on Wildwoods. I don't think I've soured enough to where I can warrant putting it in D tier, but it is going to fall further from grace. And I think right below Mushroom Gorge is where it makes sense in my head. I don't know what it is about Wildwoods, but it just feels like nothing ever happens. Like, there's one shortcut, but I feel like that one shortcut doesn't save any time. I don't know. Is this a track where nothing ever happens? I guess it's interesting enough on its own. It probably could get moved into D tier, but I don't think I have the heart to do that right now. I don't know. I don't want to linger on this too much if I don't have to. Now, Waluigi Stadium is a track that I very last minute rated into C tier because I just wasn't feeling it that day, and almost everyone ever called me out on the fact that I did nothing but praise it, only to then I did nothing but praise it only to then have it in C tier. And I did try to add like an addendum onto the end of it, but by the end it was just clear that I think I underrated it. And I think even though I don't like it that much, I think all of my arguments about it say that should be B tier at bare minimum. And I think that is justifiable, understandable. Have a nice day. Sydney's Sprint feels like it probably should be B tier. But it does just kind of... I guess most races on Sydney Sprint do feel the same. It probably will get pushed further into C tier. Or further up into C tier. But, yeah, I guess. Sky High Sunday. It shouldn't be this high up, but, like, it is C tier. There, I think that's good. I think I prefer playing it over Cheap Cheap Beach. I think that's a fair place for it. Yeah. Bowser Castle is... yeah, it's fine. It's a track that exists. That much can be said. Put it below Ice Ice Outpost, because I feel like Ice Ice Outpost tries a little harder. Honestly, TikTok Clock too. Well, no. Bowser Castle has an impactful shortcut, and that much I cannot take away from it. Ice Outpost tries a little harder than Bowser Castle, though. Alright, after that, I had Ribbon Road. Yeah, alright, Ribbon Road. You can also make the pilgrimage up to B tier. I think you are fine. You're not really a track I think about all that much, but I feel like you're quality. You have some quality stuff happening there. Mario Circuits GBA. Yeah, I think this barely makes it into B tier as well. I think GBA Mario Circuit barely does make it into B tier. It is a pretty cool track. It's very neat. I feel like I think about Mario Circuit the same way Leah thinks about Bone Dry Dunes, which is to say that it's like, yeah, it's pretty solid, but it's very underappreciated, is where I'm at. I think that makes sense. Alright, so after we had that, it's LA Laps. LA Laps is... Where is LA Laps? I'm really struggling to find it all of a sudden. There it is, LA Laps. Alright, LA Laps. I don't think it deserves to be above Sydney. I think Sydney's a more interesting track than LA Laps. Honestly, keep going. We're shuffling some stuff around. It's fine. Does LA Laps deserve to be above Bowser Castle? I'd say it does. I'd say I enjoy LA Laps more than Bowser Castle. Then Waluigi Pinball is enjoyable, I think. You know, I think Waluigi Pinball is a perfect gatekeeper to be at the top of C tier. I think that makes sense. Our C tier has decreased in size quite a bit, at least for now. At least until we get to B tier and things change up more. Toad Circuit. Yeah, I can still say I enjoy Toad Circuit. I think people hate it. I think it's like, it's fine. I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy just... It has a good amount of windiness to it. I'll put it here-ish. I think that makes sense. Yeah. I'll put Mario Circuit above it, because it feels like Mario Circuit probably should be praised more. I don't know. I weirdly like the downsize of Toad Circuit slightly more than Mario Circuit, but I think at the end of the day, Mario Circuit does win out that fight, and I think that's only fair. Rosalia's Ice World, yeah, that's as like low B as a low B gets, so we'll put that there, I think. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Riverside Park might get pushed down into C tier. It has enough shortcuts to where I don't dislike it. Even if I want more from it, I do very much want more from Riverside Park. But at the end of the day, it doesn't quite hit the threshold of I don't ever think about it. So I think right there makes sense. I think my disappointment for Riverside Park is easy to overshadow how much that it actually still does race well. Mario Circuit 3. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy Mario Circuit 3. Sue me. People hate this track. I am not one such person. It is a good bagger track. And there's not a lot of those. Like, it is a bagger track that doesn't feel like it completely has no integrity to front run. Like, you can have a front run that goes well on Mario Circuit 3. You won't always have one. But you can have a front run go well on Mario Circuit 3. It doesn't dumb down things. It just is a track where anything can happen. And I think that's about as much as you could want. New York Minute. I think New York Minute deserves less accolade than Rosalina Ice World, probably. Here. I think that makes sense. Because New York Minute doesn't have a lot of opportunity for comeback. So otherwise it's kind of like normal city. It's a very nice looking track, I think. And now we have the most reluctant C tier of all time. Yeah, that much has not changed. Belongs there. It's fine. Honestly, I'll even drop it down a little bit. I think right here behind Rosalina's Ice World, because Rosalina's Ice World actually does have some design stuff it does better. Or maybe I put it into... Maybe I put it into bottom of B tier. No, I'll put it above. I'll put it above the circuits. I think at the end of the day, I think that's fine. Well, no, I think if I really think about it, I would rather play Toad Circuit than 3DS Rainbow Road. As weird as that is, I think that is how I feel. Alrighty. So 3DS Rainbow Road. Then Dragon Driftway. How Dragon Driftway has fallen so far from grace, I don't know. I feel like this track theoretically should be fun, and it just kind of isn't all that much. I don't know. I'll put it above Rosalina's. I think that makes sense. It's still so weird. I'll never get over how weird it is that I don't like Dragon Driftway more. But I don't have a justification for it. I think you go here, Sherbetland, very, very quality stuff. Maybe even Sherbetland gets promoted into A tier. There's not enough going on for it to deserve A tier. Animal Crossing might get A tier privileges though. But it's probably recency bias of the fact that I don't play it a whole lot that makes me feel that way. I think the ice variant alone brings it down into B tier. It'll probably be top of B tier if I had to guess. Actually, I see London Loop. London Loop I might promote into A tier, as weird as it is. SNES Rainbow Road, yeah, it does everything you'd expect it to. SNES Rainbow Road, you get the things going. I don't know what I'm saying. Alright, yeah, it's SNES Rainbow Road. I don't know what you want. It's a less interest. I think Waluigi Stadium is SNES Rainbow Road a bit more interesting when I think about it that way. I'd rather play 3D. I'd rather play Circuit 3 than SNES Rainbow Road. I'm also realizing my tiers are all fricked up. It's fine. I think that's the perfect spot for it right there, though. No, I'll promote New York up to below Sherbetland, I think, as well. As I look at this. I think that's correct at this point. And then after that, we have Cheeseland. Cheeseland I probably push down a bit. Push down a bit to be below New York Minute. I think I'd rather Cheeseland than Riverside, though. I think that's the appropriate spot for it. It's fun. I don't know. Fun enough. Dolphin Shoals, I think, probably is undersold in its quality up to this point. I think it probably... right below Animal Crossing. I think that makes sense. Yoshi Valley, what's this doing in B tier? This is getting promoted to A tier. Yoshi Valley is a hell of a fun time. Yoshi Valley has only gone up in stocks and might even be S tier worthy. Not triple S, but it might even be S tier worthy because I have found that there actually is reason to take the other paths. And the fact that it is a bagger does make those other paths have some degree of value, weirdly enough. So, after that, we got... I lost my train of thought. Mute City. Mute City is gonna once again fall a few spots. I think that it beats Cheeseland. It beats New York. I don't think it beats New York Minute. I think it's below Cheeseland, or right in front of Cheeseland. I think that makes sense. That's a good spot for it, I'd say. I have a similar reluctance to Mute City as I do for Cheeseland. I think it makes sense that Butte City is the better track there, though. So after that, I'm really gonna have to record I'm gonna have to record all of these sections over again. I just know it, but it's fine. Thwomp Ruins. Yeah, it's B tier. I think below here? No. I think above Sherbetland to make sense. I think I'd still rather pick Sherbetland though. My snow bias is showing. Honestly, keep going. Thwomp Ruins or Butte City, I think I'd rather Thwomp Ruins at that point. I think that's about right. I think that's about right, yeah. Now, Sky Garden, I think probably I have overhyped a little bit. So I'll bring it up. I'll bring it here next to Sherbetland, probably. I think that's a good spot for it. I've hyped up Sky Garden a little bit too much, but I think it still is quality. I like what it throws down. Beyond that, I think that's all it really deserves. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is very fun. I enjoy Amsterdam. Where the fuck did Amsterdam go? Amsterdam! Probably like... Amsterdam is jank incarnate, and I kind of like that. Would I pick Sherbetland or Amsterdam? This really is something that changes with the given day. I'll put it here, I think. Okay, I think the jank factor does make Amsterdam slightly more fun for me. So, after that, we got Koopa Cape, which I think still deserves a spot in B tier, obviously. But I think it does drop quite a bit. I feel a similar reluctance to pick this track as I do with something like Cheeseland, but I think it beats out Butte City, beats out Thwomp Ruins. I think it beats out New York. I think right there is good. Alright, and then we get London Loop, which honestly... This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I like London Loop. I don't know what to tell you. I like this track. I feel like you get a lot of really interesting item play at the very end of the race. I think the 2 shroom shortcut is something that's very unique to London Loop that you don't see anywhere else. I don't know. I just find that it's surprisingly fun, and I think it's probably the Rock that's doing this. Why is it still at an F tier yet? You're not moving it to F tier. You're not doing that. It's still going to be a top 10 for me, and you're just going to have to deal with that fact. Alrighty, and so that's where we left off the previous tier list B tier. And now we can honestly just show the rest, just to get the final 3 tiers out of the way. We now got our tiers going here. Wait. Okay, yeah, this is fine. You're the best Mario Kart tier list maker ever. Hi, thank you, Drek. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I feel like to some degree, I kind of have to agree with that by default, just because of the fact that I am me and only I can express my opinions the way I do. I don't know. Daisy's Circuit, I think has run its course. It's not bad, but I think it deserves to be demoted into B tier. Wow, it's Excite Bike. I don't know. I don't know. There's not really a time where I really feel like, man, I really want a Daisy Circuit right now. Like, it's fine. I don't know how it snuck its way into A tier, but it really doesn't deserve that much praise. It's kind of going to fall all the way to, bottom of B tier, because I think at the end of the day it still is fun. Actually, God, do I push Daisy Circuit into C tier? Do I dare push Daisy Circuit into C tier? When I see it right there next to... When I see its competition is Waluigi Pinball, Sydney Sprint, and Electrodrome, I kind of want to. I'm sorry, Daisy Circuit, but I just don't think I vibe with you as much these days. Like, I don't feel like there's a time where I ever feel like picking Daisy Circuit. It just doesn't happen like that. I can put it below Electrodrome. It's just, it's pretty. Not a whole lot more than that. Daisy Cruiser. Everyone else is worse at it. I mean, and what are you measuring here in terms of like efficiency? In terms of like making opinions, justifying my opinions? There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. Mario Kart tier list making. That does not answer my question. I feel like you're dodging the specifics. I think he's questioning the fact that you hate Snowland, and I don't think Draki is aware of your Snowland lore. If I had to guess. Cruiser. Where's Cruiser? Why am I not finding Cruiser? There's Cruiser. Cruiser probably deserves B tier. I think that Cruiser has fallen lower on my list because it doesn't have any shortcuts or anything. I just find that it tends to have problems of like races feel the same on it. So I'll put it here with Thwomp Ruins, I guess. Slightly above Thwomp Ruins, I think. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, it's oh no, okay, yeah, that's a Snapcube Sonic 06 fan dub reference is what she was doing there. Anyway, yes. Oh yes, so we're getting to the fun stuff. Neo Bowser. I love me some Neo Bowser. Yes, sir. Neo Bowser deserves its spot. Unlike a lot of these, I'll push Animal Crossing up to A. I like Animal Crossing enough to put it in A. Athens, I think, is also deserving of A, but it'll probably be at the lower end of A. I think of Athens less than I think of these two, or any of these. NBC 8. NBC. What's? Oh, is that Animal Crossing? No, NBC. What am I looking at here? Oh, 3DS. Is that a Neo Bowser? Oh, that's Neo Bowser. Yeah, Neo Bowser's fun. I mean, it was like that before. I think Neo Bowser was an A tier before, I believe, right? No, I hadn't. Oh yeah, I did have an A tier. Yeah. So Athens, I already moved. Bone Dry. Oh, this is where things get heated. I'm sorry. Bone Dry Dunes is probably me being at the head of enduring the maximum degree of the hate campaign of Bone Dry Dunes and getting so tired of seeing nothing but slander for it. But I will be Bone Dry Dunes' biggest defender at this point. I don't care what it takes, but Bone Dry Dunes is really fucking fun. I don't care if that invalidates everything I do on this tier list. I will continue to be the only vocal defender of Bone Dry Dunes if it kills me. And it will. It will absolutely kill me. But I'm sorry. I like Bone Dry Dunes. Sue me. Rainbow Road is funny. Rainbow Road is funny. Honestly, yeah, that's a good spot for it. Just at the bottom. I think Rainbow Road as a gatekeeper of A tier makes sense. There is nothing else quite like it. Toad Harbor, yeah, that's just a fun ass track. Fun ass track through and through. Honestly, beats out Yoshi Valley, I think. but I don't really vote for. I think it's worth having there, even if I usually do vote for Yoshi's Valley more than Toad Harbor. I think that Toad Harbor is just a good enough track that deserves to be higher anyway. Because I think Toad Harbor has more replay value just from the single player perspective, I guess. Then we get Merry Mountain. I enjoy Merry Mountain. Does it deserve A tier? Probably not, but then I look at what's in B tier, and actually, yeah, I guess it does. I'll put it up here with, like, Athens Dash, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. The clip that I had with, it was probably going to be demoted into B tier, but then Leah hit that bomb snipe on me on Merry Mountain, I think, last Monday, and I don't know. I feel justified in my reasoning for thinking that Athens Dash is cool. Not Athens Dash, Merry Mountain is cool, because that really was a situation where I took the shortcut, Leah was still in first place when that happened, and she had to react to the fact that I was now in first, and she threw a really fucking cool bomb on that straightaway where it genuinely did exactly what I described Merry Mountain does, which is promote that one straightaway existing as mainly a catalyst for item play where things change. I feel very justified in where I put it, and I feel like my point has only been proven. Does that make me a stuck-up asshole? Probably. But we're moving on from that, because now it is time for Royal Raceway. Royal Raceway... Honestly, yeah, just top of A tier. It's just very cool. We like Royal Raceway a lot. Shroom Bridge continues to be fun. It's not exactly one I think about a whole lot, but it's, what can I say? It's fun. It's fun. It's just a good, it's just probably like the only city track, or not city track, traffic track that I think just does what it needs to without any caveats. It's great. After that, Vancouver Velocity, so fun, dude. I love Vancouver. Does Madrid beat out Vancouver still, though? I think Vancouver perseveres here. I think I enjoy Vancouver more than Madrid. I couldn't tell you why. I think I've just had enough times where I think the last lap of Madrid really kills it, where by the time the third lap comes, there's not really a whole lot that you can do to change the tide of the race, and it just kind of slogs to that point. I feel like, which is ironically where I think it's supposed to be more interesting, because you have the whole stadium thing happening, but it just, at that point, things just stagnate. It's still a very fun track, and I think it probably deserves A tier. I can't imagine dropping it a whole lot lower, but it's fine. After Madrid, we got Rome, which I think definitely deserves its spot in S tier. I think Rome deserves to be the gatekeeper of the S tier. It is a track that just feels like it accomplishes everything it wants to, and it's very comparable to Madrid. But I think it comes out on top in terms of being a superior design. Peach Gardens, yeah, that's just a masterpiece track right there. At a tier above for our top 10, because of course our top 10 has to have a bit of theatrics to it. Because that's really the one thing that separates your S tier. The only thing that separates S tier and my triple S tier is that my triple S tier is my top 10. I think that at the end of the day, we love top 10s, you know? The audience out there in the world, we love organizing things into the 10 best of the best, the head-to-head combat. We like the number 10, and we like just being like, these are the best things ever. Maple Treeway, yeah, it's Maple Treeway. I don't know what you want from me. Just put it there. I don't know. You know, the mushroom, I think the mushroom effect, though, does boost it above Rome. Just a little bit. I was gonna say this is a downgrade for Maple Tree, but it's mild. It's like one spot. Super Bell Subway. This probably deserves to be put into A tier. but I still like it. I still really like it. I'll put it above Maple. I think that's where I'll stop for now. I don't know. It's the same thing as... It's very similar to Shroom Ridge, where it's just like a traffic track, but the difference is that on Super Bell is that you can't just avoid one car and be like out of the woods and go back to go however line you want. You have to work in these very narrow spaces, and I think that's inherently interesting. I don't know. That's just where I'm at. Bowser Castle 3. Need I say more? It's Bowser Castle 3. It clears. It just... It's... We need a Bowser Castle. And we got a Bowser Castle. And everyone's happy. Coconut Mall. Yeah, it's Coconut Mall. I don't know what you want from me. It's a masterpiece. Piranha Plant Cove. Yeah, that's a track that knows how to use underwater water mechanics in a cool and interesting way. Yeah. Put it... Sell it. It's there. DS Mario Circuit. My beloved. I love racing GBA Mario Circuit. Or not... No, sorry, not GBA. DS Mario Circuit. My beloved. I probably have overhyped it in the past a little bit. I'll put Piranha... I think... no, I like it. I just like it that much. I hate to say it. It's just a really fun circuit track that I don't get tired of. I think it's the best... Ooh, is it the best circuit track? Oh, I don't think people are ready for this. I'm putting it above Yoshi's Circuit. Well, Yoshi's Circuit has the Nisk, though. The Nisk, I think, might make Yoshi's Circuit because it's a much more intuitive version of it. It's what I wish the Hyrule Circuit Nisk was, you know? Oh, it's tough. There is also technically Nisk on DS Mario Circuit, but I think it's a much less interesting Nisk. That's only on 200, though. That's only on 200. Okay, Yoshi Circuit, you win this time. But watch your back, because I think Mario Circuit DS has the potential to surpass you. Probably not in this game, but in the future, maybe. Alright, so now we are at Paris Promenade. I may have overhyped this one too much. I like Paris Promenade, but I think I may have overhyped it a bit. We'll put it right here at Bowser Castle. For giving me parasocial highs. I mean, are they parasocial? Like, is it parasocial to say hi to someone on the street? At the end of the day, I see a lot of my viewers based essentially as like strangers to some degree because I don't know anything about most of them. Most of them. Keyword most because like obviously there's some people I talk to outside of my streams, but for the most part it's like I don't know. No reason I can't have a conversation with people. If that makes me parasocial, I don't know what then I guess I'm parasocial. I'm okay with conversation. Calamari Desert, that's a masterpiece of a track right there. Probably might go above Bone Dry Dunes, but at this point we're getting to the point to where regular S tier is fighting for triple S. In fact, to indicate this fact, why don't we go ahead and do that? Yeah. And then we'll decide if that's really going to be how things work out. Moo Moo Meadows. Have we finally endured enough hype from the Moo Meadows cow to finally accept that he doesn't deserve his spot in S tier? Do I dare demote the Moo Meadows cow, retire the old meme? It might be time to retire the meme. And to finally be honest with how I actually feel about the track. Because we have Moo Meadows cow in Mario Kart World. This is hard. I don't know if I have the heart to do it. The thing is that I feel like if I move Moo Moo Meadows cow out of S tier, it's entirely at that point because I see it as an opportunity to be contrarian. I want to fight that part of myself. I didn't know it was a meme, but I get it. So Draki, basically, throughout all of the time I've played Mario Kart 8, it's been a thing where usually when I'm at my most frustrated, I'll get to the menu select screen. I'll run into the Moo Meadows. I'll run into Moo Meadows, and suddenly whatever like angry rant I was on before suddenly gets interrupted by me just loudly going Moo! And then just vibes are just restored. But the problem is that nowadays, like, even in my tier list video, I said that Moo Meadows is probably like a B tier at most, but it just gets carried by that meme and how much I appreciate its menu select screen and the memeability of the Moo Meadows cow. At this point, it might just be time to retire it though, to move it out of maybe not S tier, but at least bring it down to A tier at minimum. But I think if I'm gonna take it out of S tier, I think it's only fair that I really say how I feel about it. And that is, at the end of the day, I'm gonna pick Moo Meadows over a lot of these stuff in B tier, so alright, you can be top of A tier. You can be top of A tier, Moo Meadows. Because you really don't do anything that special, but you will always be special to me. I'm finally willing to retire the meme. We're moving on. Mount Wario, honestly, probably gets overhyped. I don't know if I have the heart to take it out of S tier, because it really is a great track. But I think it is very bottom of S tier. I even look at some of these things in A tier, and I feel like I want to rate them above Mount Wario, but I think that doing so would just be kind of crazy. It wouldn't make any sense. I think it deserves to keep its spot at the very bottom of S tier. Excuse me. I think that makes sense. After that, we had wait, I got completely sidetracked. I skipped 4 tracks. Alright, Boo Lake. Boo Lake, I love this track a lot. I think that's where it belongs. I think I've come to like Yoshi Circuit and Mario Circuit more than Boo Lake, but it's still very fun. It is a track that's just so fast. Things happen so quickly. It's absolute chaos, pandemonium. Donut Plains. I feel like people often accuse me of overhyping Donut Plains, and I think I probably did, especially with where it ended up in the final ranking. It is a track unlike any other, and I think it has a lot of really cool stuff. But I think at the end of the day, it deserves to be bottom of my S tier, and that's about as far as I can justify. I think Rome Avanti does beat it. Honestly, yeah, I think Donut Plains is the new gatekeeper for S tier. I think I've overhyped it a lot, but it's a very cool track. You get a lot of variety here. Honestly, no. I think it's better. I think it is more fun than Mount Wario. I hate to say it, but I think I do feel that way. And Maple Treeway honestly gets by doing so little. But it has the mushrooms. No, who cares about the mushrooms? The mushrooms are overhyped. I think that's something close to what I'm thinking here. Because Maple Treeway otherwise just doesn't have a whole lot happening in it. And at the end of the day, S tier is S tier. Like, you're still doing a great job if you're in S tier. Berlin Byways. Alright. As much as it breaks my heart, as much as Berlin Byways will always have a spot on my favorite tracks list, I don't think it deserves S tier. I think this is the one S tier I have been properly convinced to move down. And honestly, even as I'm looking at some of these other tracks, yeah, I think it just makes sense to drop it down even below Vancouver. Like, it's a fun track. It has traffic going. It's interesting, but at the end of the day, some of the stuff that I like to praise on it really does not amount to much, and that is frustrating because I love Berlin Byways. I love Berlin Byways so much, but I have been open to the eyes of its flaws, and that deserves the Mute City treatment, at bare minimum. Actually, Mute City is in B tier, but I digress. Because it's not really like it has flaws. It's just kind of overwhelming. Whereas it gives good races still. Oh, I skipped Melody Motorway. How did I skip Melody Motorway? What's this doing here? I didn't ever move this. Where did I put Melody Motorway on my last tier list? I think I'm going to use that as a guide generally. Whoops. Melody Motorway I had there. Alright. Just in C tier somewhere, I guess. Yeah, I think Melody Motorway is a pretty solid gatekeeper. I think that's good. Unless Carly wants to give me a solid argument for Melody Motorway, because I still haven't heard one exactly, and I think if anyone's going to convince me on Melody Motorway getting promoted, it probably is Carly, assuming she's still even here. But while I wait on her to do that, I'll move some others around. Grumble Volcano. I still love this track. Probably doesn't deserve all of this, but I think right there is solid. Right there's a very solid place for it. Alright, so now we get to the actual top 10 here. Which means that, Big Blue does not make my top 10. I think I'm willing to say Big Blue gets eliminated from my top 10. It's a great track. It's very fun. So much stuff happens on it. Right about there seems good for Big Blue. I'd say that's good. Choco Mountain. I still love Choco Mountain. Does it deserve to be all the way up here? Most definitely not. Can I skip this one? Hold on. Real quick. I don't think I can skip. Alright, well, I'll just tell you know what? As we're getting to the final here, the final bit here, down to the wire here, why don't let's go ahead and... Alrighty. So now, back to here. Alrighty. Big Blue, like, it's a great track, but I don't think it really deserves to be my top 10 still. I will always pick Big Blue, but it's just not a top 10 for me. It's very fun, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have, like, the most thing here. Where did GCN River Road at? I love GCN River Road. I just kind of picked a Wii song. I figured, like, we're at the end here. We're getting close to the very end of our list, so I may as well drop the Rainbow Road, especially because I wanted to get off of the really... I don't like Dragon Driftway's music. Or is that Dragon Driftway? I think it's Dragon Driftway. Yeah. Hold on. I should quickly... I just now realized ever since I had Melody Motorway, this was very in the way. Alright. Let's focus in here. So, once more, we were at Wii Rainbow Road, which, yeah, honestly, probably top 10 track worthy. I think it doesn't beat out any of the three above it that are currently, but definitely a top 10 track, most likely, until I kick something else out. Ninja Hideaway? Fuck yeah. Absolutely. Masterclass track design. Honestly, probably deserves to go above Choco Mountain and all of these, honestly. It is just a masterclass in terms of what it accomplishes. DK Mountain, it's the Iro Hazaka. I mean, I can't get rid of it. I mean, we'll get to that. Sunset Wilds. What can I say? This track is so fucking fun. Sunset Wilds is such an interesting track where I would say it's a bagger, but then at the same time it rewards such a high degree of just skillful play, and it has a proper, like, actual difficult GBA-esque shortcut where you have to take this really narrow path, it does so much right, and it's so much more special than just the fact that it doesn't happen to have a mobile skybox. It's so much more than its skybox, and I wish people would see that. DK Mountain, is that where we're at? No, we're at Snowland. Snowland, yeah. I love me some Snowland. It's a gimmick. Snowland is a gimmick. I am the first to admit that Snowland is a gimmick. But man, is it a fun gimmick. I'm sorry to say. It's just so fun. Something like this is where we're at. Then, after Snowland, we get DK Mountain. It's the Irohazaka of Mario Kart. What can I say? It is incredibly fun. It doesn't give the most dynamic races, so I guess it probably gets booted down a couple tiers. Probably right here. I think that seems about right. Transition has already started. It's very funny that you saw my comment on that video. It's funny because like I didn't even know you would have seen that video, but the only reason I now know that you have is because you're referencing my comment. One second, I'm getting some allergies here. All right. Final two, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island really, yeah, just like here, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I've just kind of soured to the fact that with Yoshi's Island, like, yeah, it does all this really cool stuff. But it's like, I don't know what to say beyond that. I feel like I have a very basic look at Yoshi's Island, and like, yeah, all that stuff is very deserving of praise. I don't know. Which video it was? It was just Pan and Koek. It was just Pan and Koek's invisible walls out of context. Alright. Alright, so DK Summit, yeah. Like, I don't know what to say. It's DK Summit. What DK Summit is, yeah, it's jank. And with that, I think that's, I mean, hold on. So move stuff around potentially. God, my top 10 is contentious. Holy shit. I already have Carly at my throat for Snowland. Nobody's going to understand the vision of Choco Mountain. Bone Dry Dunes is where pitchforks get fucking raised, and it's only going to get worse when I get to Sunset Wilds. Like, I think that the world is not ready for my Mario Kart opinions. Just for the sake of not getting persecuted to death, I think I have to put Ninja Hideaway at the very top for the sake of being able to end on a high note that everyone can agree with. Or at least most people should be able to, because I think that my justification for Ninja Hideaway is a lot stronger than my justification for Sunset Wilds and Bone Dry Dunes. That much I feel like is very much the case. And I think I ought to move these two down a bit more. But, I don't know if I can justify that. Okay, I think I can bring DK Mountain above Bone Dry. Maybe, even though I feel like having DK Mountain in my top 3 completely just kind of ignores Sir Musty's really solid arguments about why DK Mountain is super heavily overhyped. But at the end of the day, it's just, there's something so thrilling about just going where carts do not feel like they should be able to go. Like, just that little shelf path, taking that quick gap, like, it's just a very hype experience. I don't know how else to describe it than that. I don't know if I can justify putting Bone Dry Dunes below it. I feel like this supercut is going to be the worst. This supercut's going to end my entire fucking career because I can't justify putting Sunset Wilds and Bone Dry Dunes outside of my top 3. There's not a way to fix this. My favorite tracks are hated by everyone, and I don't know what to do about this because I feel like I should compromise something because at the end of the day, I think people have very solid reasons for not liking these tracks, but I do. It's at least serving of A tier. But like, here's the thing: is that like I feel like putting it in top 3 is kind of overselling. I think that Sir Musty has genuinely very solid arguments for why it gets overhyped, and it almost was enough to make me drop it to A tier. But I think overall, it's just a very standout design that does so much right. I don't know what to do about this top 3. This top 3 is a fucking mess, and I don't know if I can fix it. What can I do to fix this? I don't think nothing in the universe could fix the fact that that we get to the top 3, you get Bone Dry Dunes and be like, okay, well naturally his number 2's gotta be better. Nope, Sunset fucking Wilds, like Ninja Hideaway, like kind of fixes it a little bit, because I feel like most people can understand the take of Ninja Hideaway being a really well-designed track. The other two are going to, they're going to end my career. I can't ship this the way that I am. But I can't justify doing anything differently. Snowland and DK Summit? What about DK Summit? Do you not like DK Summit either? Do you like, does DK Summit also have Toadette problems? Or do you just not like it? I think Bone Dry Dunes does get taken down because it does get a lot more hectic on 200, and it is susceptible to lag. I can justify taking Bone Dry Dunes lower for those reasons. I've thought about it while trying to get this situation put together. I think Calamari I can put above it. Calamari really did just sneak its way into the top 10, but it really is just a very inherently just interesting final here. Before I get into this track suffering from the wide syndrome that the whole BCP is suffering from, the broken half pipe with the hidden and unintuitive mechanic of press R before you land, so you doesn't go 15 miles sideways to the side, random Mario Kart physics for the win, and that it can happen if you mess up mini turbo. I guess that makes sense. Orange, how's it going? I am updating my final Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tier list and trying not to make the universe hate me, because I am unfortunately a Bone Dry Dunes and a Sunset Wilds defender, and with how my first thought was of how I wanted to do this list was to put them both in my top 3, which I think would end my entire career. Thankfully, I found a decent enough justification for moving Bone Dry Dunes lower, so I'm not as terrified about it. As for addressing what you said about Summit, I feel like the wideness isn't that big of a problem, because I think that it's I think that Summit is a track that doesn't suffer from having from being super wide. I think that it is helpful in this case, because at least you're always doing something with that wide space. And I think that the unintuitive half pipe thing, I get where you're coming from with it. But I think that at the end of the day, you can still zipper without needing to rely on the R trick. It's unintuitive, you can still zipper without it, and it is just kind of a further optimization in my opinion. And as a result, I think there's a little bit of a you don't just go straight from sitting to walking. There's a little bit of a crawl you can develop between. And I think especially when you internalize the fact that you want to just get air off that last one on the inside, I think it's fine enough. Cheap viewers, wow, you can tell me all about it. You can tell me all about it in hell. Wow. My viewers are priceless. Don't you fucking try to shill your nonsense onto me. I think it's not just the wide syndrome, it's the second part of your comment. Did I miss that? Hold on. Hold on. I was skimming it because I saw orange show up. Wide wide syndrome that the whole BCP is suffering from, the broken half pipe with the hidden and unintuitive. I mean, the unintuitive half pipe thing, I just talked about that. So you go 15 miles sideways to the side. I think I addressed that though, did I not? I feel like I addressed that. Like, there's a way to crawl and learn the half pipe, like slightly. Like you can do the zipper without doing the drift thing, and like it does increase your time, but it's by no means a requirement, I would say. Oh my gosh, okay. I really don't get the hype for DK Summit in 8. I don't know, it's just not a good track for me. The double cut in Wii was very high risk, high reward, but there was always the simple cut for a quick and dirty backup. Very easy to learn, not enough to keep up with the rest rest pack. Granted, a small bit of luck in item play here is just dumbed down and no simple cut because you can't back up from now missing the barrier. Charm was lost in the adaptation, and that's not that's not B. Message before that. Oh, the message before that? Hold on. Oh, you had a whole thing. Okay. I missed that. Don't really get the hype for TK Summit. Oh, did you just cut it again? Okay, yeah. I don't know. To each their own. But I see the argument there, and for that I'll drop it down. I'll drop it down to the bottom of my top 10 because at the end of the day, I still really like TK Summit, and I don't know. I look at any of these other tracks below it, and I can't justify putting any of them in my top 10 instead. I guess maybe a good circuit track could do it, but then I'd have to pick between DS Mario Circuit and Yoshi Circuit, and I don't think I have the heart to do that when the stakes are so high. Like, I think it's kind of gotta be DK Summit. Like, it's jank. It's complete and utter jank, but I don't think I can put anything else there. I don't think I can justify putting anything else in that top 10. I understand if you disagree with it, but I just cannot justify making such a decision. Plus, if I brought in Yoshi's Circuit, you also have to deal with the bullet bill extension. You have to address the bullet bill extension elephant in the room. I have to do that in my top 10, that feels very difficult to justify. Otherwise, I think this is just about set in stone. Carly, do you want to give me your argument for Melody Motorway? Because it's still in C tier, and I want to give you that chance. I guess what I could do is I could look at some of my comments for feedback, because I did say I was going to do that. Because I think there's probably some comments I'm not thinking about, so why don't I go ahead and do a quick skim through the comment section, shall we? Alright, I don't know if I have stream songs that I never use. Alrighty, cool. Alrighty, so there's that. Every time on screen with the footage of the okay. Really good first impression, which is surprising. Don't really have an argument for Melody Motorway. The track is C plus or B at best. It's simple, it has a gimmick, but it's kind of weak. Though it's not annoying either. Okay, fair enough. I figured that was probably the one you had the most strong feelings on. Because music lover, fair enough. I love me ranking mark. Not any feedback here. Will he learn? Wait for Excite Bike Arena. That's on the history of Bone Dry Dunes. Oh, at least they're gonna be. At least they're gonna appreciate me. Actually, convince me of Bone Dry Dunes. Da, da, da. Da, da. I feel like there's probably not going to be any feedback on the first one, because I feel like nobody really left feedback on the first one, but I'm still going to look and be thorough about it. I am a small enough YouTuber that I can do that. I have that luxury. How you conquer my heart? Fair enough. Honestly, B+ because Simple Track for 8 Deluxe fits well. Fair enough, yeah. 8, very disappointing. Every single track, DLC tracks have so much more life and so much more vibrant. Okay, this is just general feedback, not really any specific track. Da-da-da. We're starting tracking the series, probably, yeah. Okay, so pretty much really no feedback with the first part. People were just kind of like, yeah, okay. Welcome. There was more hate for Mario Kart Stadium addressed. And honestly, that might be, yeah, honestly. Retroactively, bump it down one further tier. You know what? You know what? Lower than Water Park, let's go. It's shit. I hate it. I fucking hate that shit. I don't care that you can probably see the vector glide, the motion gliding is a good thing. I don't cry about it or something. I don't know. I just don't think it's. I just not a fan of motion gliding, and if people have a problem with that, then so be it. Wario Stadium is basically the same thing as Mario Kart Stadium, except more tech stuff. Actually, it deserves a place above Water Park. I'll give it that. All right. So part 2. This is a whole thing. Do they have any specific thoughts on any tracks? This is just a general comment. What did I say to it? Okay. No exact comments. Which shortcut are we talking about? The fact that it turns the other unintended shortcut that was in Wii into that shortcut. That's like one of the most satisfying ones to take, where it's like it's genuinely really difficult and can be a really satisfying way to steal some final spots at the end. Yeah, it's so cool. I love that shortcut, dude. Alright. Okay, we got some Carly feedback from Donut Plains, at least. 1-0 track. It's excellent track for front running if you get the chance. The pack is unlikely to catch. So this is more just in telling me about what type of track it is. Likely to get the right items, get the job done. However, still enough room for bottom 4 to pull powerful item to get please shuffle the deck. I'm not sure I understand the comment. Does the same cut, of course. You're not gonna get any ground on him. What was this? So what's this? Shortcuts or anything to make it really feel like item play matters. I was talking about the grass cut here, so I think that's not what. So I think that's. I forgot to respond to that comment, but you were saying like Ven does the same shortcut. No, I took the grass there. That's the difference. I know and you thought I just meant the tambourine. Like, I was talking about the grass there, the grass where you're supposed to actually be able to cut that inside more. And yeah, but that's not really changing the positioning there. A second Carly comment has hit the video. Playing on a road in Mario Kart 64 is like watching Spider-Man No Way Home to me. It's a good first time you experience it because you feel like you deserve it, but becomes way worse every time you revisit it. Yeah. Hate that shit. Blame is on me. What's this? Oh, is this TikTok clock? Yeah, it's TikTok clock. Ironically enough, TikTok clock has risen in my ranking because I think that the bit of me not understanding the TikTok clock gears is funny, but overall, as I've come to realize, like, I don't dislike TikTok clock. Not a whole lot happens on it, but that's a lot of C tier, honestly. F tier is a bit harsh considering you dislike front runner track on the slide. This is coming from someone who got both versions of this track in S tier. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just so short. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a reason. Honestly, prefer most of the retros in this game to the nitros. Not really any in particular that I ask for more. This is true for a lot of my BCPs, in my opinion. Okay, someone asked for 100% orange juice for some reason, and then Confused Soul just agreed with my Rainbow Road take. Very easy enough. Welcome back, if you have not watched the... Alrighty, so we're on part 3, which is DLC, which I think is where the critiques start coming in. For the TPs from the Slight Bike Apologist, yeah. As much as me and most of my friend group joke about it being one of the worst tracks of the game, yeah, Cyan has some good arguments for it, and I think there's a reason why it's in D tier, not F tier anymore. Comp, I appreciate your attention to detail and reasoning for each of the rankings. Awesome, just more praise that feeds my ego. Yes, I am good at my job. Alrighty. Remember, the initial hype of Wii U DLC was insane. The booster course pass happening at all feels like it gives credit to how successful. Even crazier. So much love and detail was put trailers. This is really just kind of a general opinion. Aside from the small group of stinkers of the collection, the tracks here did so much for Mario Kart 8, and outside the 2 oval tracks here, every single track made me as Mario Kart fan excited to return, debut for the first time, GBA Retros finally getting to glow up. They deserved Zion champions on both Cheatland and Ribbon Road. Yeah, good stuff. Was there more here, or was this just conversation? This looks like just conversation. Yeah. Dragon Driftway is one of those tracks that favors front running. However, if you get unlucky at the start, you aren't out of the race, and this is due to many reasons. The first is that the track has a shroomless gap jump cut, very risky to pull off. A bunch of people surrounding you, however, pulling it off. Yeah, this. Okay, so we're actually getting some actual critique now. If you aren't good enough to pull the shortcut, there is still the intended shortcut next to it. First half of the track, meaning that still feel like people near the front were cheated. The anti-gravity spin placed in the middle of the path make it optimal to hit all of them in order to get the best lines. Unlike, let's say, some airport where the intersection are so out of the way. Okay, so maybe where did I put Dragon Driftway? Does Dragon Driftway finally get its redemption? I forgot where I put it. Does it deserve to go higher than where I did? Because honestly, yeah, that's all very solid argument. I probably deserve to put it higher. Where did I put Dragon Driftway? What the fuck? Dragon Driftway? Hello? Am I crazy? I don't see it anywhere. Is it in C tier? No, surely not. Dragon Driftway, here it is. Okay. Compared to some of the ones around it, yeah, I think it does. I think this is a fine enough spot for it. Like, it's quality, and I don't really know how to justify putting it higher, really. It does have a lot more going on than some of these. So maybe an A tier buff is in order. Probably not. At least I'll raise it up a few spots to... I'll have it match New York Minute, because I think I would rather do Dragon Driftway than Daisy Cruiser. I think that seems justifiable. It probably deserves higher, but I don't know. I'm just never been a Dragon Driftway enjoyer. I think there's strong arguments for it, and I appreciate Bumpty-Thon's take on that. Mute City just sucks. I don't mind tracks that heavily favor front running as long as there's at least interesting tech involved. An example of good front running is Rome Avanti due to the amount of trick ramps. Wow, another Rome Avanti enjoyer. Alright. Turn compliment against many. Mute City has you just straight for the majority of the time, and no one knows what to do with their speed items in the first 2/3 of the race. And as dash panels running Golden Mushroom at the start of the lap is the worst thing that can happen, as the boosts rarely, if at all, benefit you do the dash panels. Yeah, honestly. Where did I put Mute City? Ugh. Is that too high for Mute City? Is B tier too high for Mute City? I think it's justifiable there, because at the end of the day, I think Mute City still is carried by its flair. I think there is interesting stuff on Mute City, but, yeah. You know what? Cheeseland beats Mute City. Calling it there. Cheeseland beats Mute City. There we go. Send it. On Cheeseland, what the bagging nerf has done is that baggers just grab their 2 items, then slowly move forward. Strategy is they grab their 2 items, then slowly move forward. Oh, okay. I actually don't think I remember hearing that. Strategy is still find a bullet and use it on first room cut and build extension of the first half of top 3, and use your speed item and take both the glider. And Cheeseland still remains one of the most egregious bagging tracks. I haven't commented this on your first part, but one reason why Sunshine Airport shouldn't be held up as a sacred crow of 8 tracks is due to the second half being unengaging. Second half is one straightaway followed by a glider, followed by a long turn and long gliders. Probably helped your case in justifying it being F tier. What they should have done is have the player visit the inside of the airport. There are many things to do with that. Yeah, okay. That's all very well and good. Cheeseland probably deserves to get taken down a peg, even if the bagging isn't as common on regular regionals and worldwides. Because those are still very large flaws that you can just abuse. But then again, Mario Circuit 3 is here. What are we doing if Mario Circuit 3 is here? I just want to add for DK Summit that because the track is so wide, being swung to the sides because you miss a non-intuitive half-pipe tech is definitely losing you the race against a competent player, which is what you find really annoying. I find that oh, you know what? Okay, hang on. Carly, I think this is an inside drift problem. I'm sorry to say, but I think this is an inside drift problem. Because I think that you talking about getting flung all the way to the side is not something I've ever experienced, and I think I just pinpointed why. So if I can... It's not, you've checked? Well, well, that's embarrassing. Alright, well, we're back on the shuffle anyway. Because, like, I'm not sure if I understand. I think I might need to send, I think I might need you to send a clip of what you're talking about if I'm to understand it. I'm not Stanford Baby Park slander. Dang. Well, too bad. Guess you'll have to sit down for it instead. Your favorite tracks. I'm sorry. There is, and then there's the issue with Yoshi. What's this? It isn't.
At all. Now compare that to the Mario Kart 8 version, where we not only have everything else that makes the double dash.
Yeah, but it isn't. And then there's the issue with Yoshi Circuit where you can just hang in the back, get a bullet, and then unleash a bullet. Yeah, the extension is, yeah. Extension, it happens. At the end of the day, just because you can, it does not mean that it's what happens usually. But yeah, it's definitely keeping it out of top 10, very justifiably. I still think it's a very fun track outside of the bullet bill extension. You can make something unfun, I guess. I don't know. Where do you place Final Destination? I just now realized this isn't even fitting on screen. That's a bit embarrassing. Let me fix that real quick. Where's my Firefox tab? Bring that ever so slightly onto screen. Alrighty. That's good enough. Alrighty. So, shortcut normally saves more time than what's shown here, but Birdo might have messed up the shortcut. So this is for Ice Ice Outpost?
Not to a point to where it feels like you're
this.
getting hit by every item necessarily, but
I don't know. I still think Ice Ice Outpost is not really deserving of much. Is what it is. Okay, wait. Today have Ocean VTuber, yeah. They also said I have a smooth voice, which is interesting. um. All right, and that is Wii U DLC. We got the Booster Course Pass arc here. Praise for being a bootlegger. Let's go. Really appreciate giving a valid criticism to 3S Rim Road. Absolutely. That is what I'm made for. Hated most of the Booster Course Pass before. Yippee. More enjoyment. Glad to see available Berlin Bio Enjoyer. Oh, that's going to be bad news for them. Incredibly dumbed down. Peach Card is a perfect example. Each obstacle in Berlin Bios feels like it actually contributes to dynamic and eventful gameplay. I think I agree with that for the most part. But then there's the really fricked up womps. And yeah, not bad for a Sean Palmer fan. I've watched many tier lists. Deep dive feels, which is valid, but I'd like to see more gameplay focused. One for a change makes yours more interesting options, and I'm happy that that is the case. Oh my gosh! Okay, we got a lot. All right. What you got for us, Melissy? Individual thoughts from a casual plays 150 with CPUs. I'd say Paris is intro track of city tracks. It's really simple, teaches new players. I mean, I pretty much said all that. Influence more of Paris. Tokyo Blur is Mario Circuit or city track. It's more complex, but it's still basic and it's all right. Still kind of shit. Completely agree with Shroom Ridge. It's I mean, okay. If you disagree, I don't need your take on it. Kind of Sunday, in my opinion, is a level of jank that makes me question how well thought out it is for 8 Deluxe. Still better than Excite Bike? Yeah, honestly. Well said. London Loop is the only track that I don't really like. Is the only C track I don't really like. Interesting. Mostly because of how much it is just a road with landmarks that don't really do anything but sit there. But, and, I mean, it has chain jumps. I think the chain jumps are at least something else. The only interesting obstacle to the... Oh, wait, they mentioned that. Lap 3 also feels longer than it needs to be, and I think that is probably its biggest downside. But then again, I think the grass cuts make up for it, in my opinion. Maple Treeway is unoffensive a track you can possibly get. Yeah. Track that almost always end up in top half, and for ones yeah, pretty much. Maybe underrating Berlin as a traffic course, but it's definitely the equivalent of unparsable conglomerate of okay, yeah. Just mix it up with other daytime. As an offline player, I still think straightaway of Mary Mountain kills all the momentum it has, and I think that's the most common argument, but I think I have a strong argument against it, whether people like it or not. And they agree with my 7 Rimmer Road critique, alright? Have a lot to say, oh boy. We have a lot of stuff here. I respect the hell out of your opinion, just on it. As much as I think it's well written and conveys, I have to completely disagree. Sure, it is a bunch of set pieces, but I think it a unique magic to it. Road to Go, it's an incredible, awesome adventure, and it feels. I mean, it's not. I feel like I don't really think I agree with the adventure thing, but we'll move on. Kind of catch up on this track. It's a valid criticism backed by personal experience. I don't think it's an astonishing track. Happy didn't mention that the road is too blue. That's so stupid. No one who would ever say the road is too blue. That's simply no. Real Stream of Road. Someone's been watching Shifrillis. Alright. Someone who played the hell out of the Wii U version and chose not. 6 years after, I'm ready for the new mark. Okay. Pretty nice video. Alright. As soon as I saw the YouTube channel, I immediately thought, of course you did. I really enjoyed it. BCP hater, I hate. Okay. You really are a gameplay honey. Yep, sure am. Paris probably committed stolen valor against GCN Luigi's Circuit that's a crazy statement. I don't know what these two have in common, but alright, sure. Did they ever... Oh, right, driving backwards, that's what they meant. That's still... Still, though, more praise for being brave enough not to like 3S Rimmer Road. Catch up, as I've never had a race where we were getting drafts off of how close we were. The point about middle position players having the biggest starting advantage due to players being able to get Super Mario Turbo, unlike most front-running tracks, people aren't top positions. Disadvantage. I have this track in low D due to many reasons, turn being too gentle, examples of cave section and turn 3, 4, 3, 3 bumps before the lap. Thank you so much for the 3DS. Okay. This person doesn't like Choco Mountain. Fair enough. I overhype Choco Mountain for sure. Just wanted to let you know Thames. Oh, right, it's Thames River, of course. Okay. Justice for Toad Circuit. Yes, we like Toad Circuit around here. Keyword like. I don't know. Thoughts as I watch. All right, we got a Rory comment. Rory, the goat, giving me so much to work with. Paris isn't real. Can't hurt you. I love seeing you say it, as to be honest. Paris is a good example to show that simple basic track design can be good. Yeah. Always be one of Toad Circuit's biggest haters because I had to play it way too often in Mario Kart 7. I don't care. This one tosses a wrench in people's play and forces them to deal with it. I also have a personal experience with people that just made me hate it. Track in 7. Toxic casuals are the worst. That being said, your opinion and it's your opinion. I'm fine to have it. Okay, fair enough. Similar take on Sky Garden. Always call it Sky Garden 2. Yeah. F-Zero naming convention. I'm proud of my F-Zero naming convention there. Wave 1 BCP is so underrated. I swear you get it. Yeah. Honestly, the better I get at the game, the more I enjoy Waluigi Pinball. It's satisfying, yeah. It's just good overall. Track rewards better players more often due to its length. I feel like the players know who drive best could die out, but catch up better line. I think it makes sense. Love the design aspect of Mushroom Gorge. I really do respect people. People love the shortcut, but track itself plays so badly I want to cry. Mushrooms were not designed well. To bring this course over to and then the second half, last item set is guaranteed to give silly items if you're in the back, making shock common on this track and makes the gameplay feel more nightmarish. We have very similar thoughts on this track and it feels rare to agree with this on someone. Alright, lots of duds. Something about Maple True in this game, it feels magical. Yeah, really enjoy it. Let's go. Too bad I have been open to the flaws, but I still enjoy it. I feel like it has gotten better since its release. My current team uses this track as option 6v6. I really enjoy the shortcut design of this track. It's very pleasant atmosphere. I also like how even with our shared thoughts on straightaways being pretty boring with nothing to do, what you said about how it comes right after an item set and the way it ends the track feels right. That there are things to do here like aiming, lining up, gliders, no trick, drifting back and forth to keep your speed. I usually despise this track for this one section alone, but since I've really come to appreciate it more, yeah. So, not any real things to change there, but I want to be thorough. If I'm going to have this be like the final order of the supercut, I want to make sure I factor everything I see here. So, this is really where the stream gets boring, and I'm sorry that is likely the case. Y'all probably don't need me to be here just reading my stream feedback, but hey, at this point, the stream is more for me than it is anyone else. So. Da-da-da. Jump scare by Salty. Da-da-da. Sean Palmer. Da-da-da. I'll be honest, I'm not the most serious Mario Kart player. This is Stand Tour tracks. I love Moonveer Highway and Toad Turnpike and all the other typical city tracks. Jesus Christ, there's so many. I feel like it's slog whenever I play them. More abstract stuff, fair enough. Eldritch noises for Snowland. Mushroom Gorge and Sky Guard is most mid-track in the game, in my opinion. Honestly, where do I have Sky Garden? Could I afford to move Sky Garden down? I think Koopa Cape better than Sky Garden. I'll give it that much. I think I probably picked New York more than Sky Garden. I think right there is good, though. Best comment in your opinion? Fascinating. Alright. Final part!
The next Mario Kart game got announced. Before I fit...
Alrighty. Da-da. Personally love DK Mountain's half pipes. Da-da. Okay. Oh, that's a half... That's a half joke, I understand. Huh. much. It's been much more than a year, and finally you delivered the first Mario Kart opinion that's closest to correct. Wait, hold on. The first Mario Kart that's okay, but this person apparently really doesn't like my opinions. Oh, Mark, but you indeed delivered amazing analysis that are still a breath of fresh air. Individual thoughts, again from Casual who plays 200. My thoughts on DK Summit and DK Mountain is that I think it's funny how DK Summit has never appeared in a game that never had DK Mountain. Yeah, they work well together. Yada, I've never been so mad at something I could agree with more. Singapore Speedway. Maybe it's because I don't really know the shortcuts and lack of them. That being said, I still really love it. The turns are really fun. I think Singapore's downtown core by itself is a good base for a Mario Kart track, especially for Marina Stand. Yeah, there's a lot you could do with Singapore, and it just doesn't. Finally, some to agree with Moonveer Highway not being good at Mario Kart 8. I'm tired of people putting it high, challenging traffic course, then Turnpike, when it's really not. Because first half Ridge still clears. I do agree with Venator that much slower and easier to dodge cars. I have another thing. Comment that appears it's gonna be KCSRR still. Got monkey paws with that. All right. I would like to copy Lorelai's aesthetic analysis of Ribbon Road Squeak Clean Sprint, adjust for the fact that the bathroom and paste. Another one of the best looking tracks in the game with detail. Casual gameplay. It's still somewhat alright. Ultimately, I am the gameplay Andy, so none of that matters to me. Can't believe they forgot the Sunset on SMH. I still actually stand by that, even as ironic Lighting Engine didn't support Supporter. I still think it could have been, it should have been Cheap Cheap Beach. It would have, I mean, oh gosh, Cheap Cheap Beach was so good. Or Cheap Cheap Lagoon, rather. Daisy Circuit has by far the best music in the game. That's crazy. Daisy Circuit is the most what the fuck track was this, but it's like, it's still good. Final boss of Mario Kart 8 opinions, meanwhile sitting in the background. I mean, one of them is a final boss of Mario Kart 8 opinion. Okay. That's a much more general thing. I'm biased towards city tracks with my placement in Singapore, but there's just default, they're just by default fun to drive through. I mean, yeah, they are. Otherwise, that's pretty much fine. Sunset Wilds has 3 S's named for a reason. So true! I share similar opinions to Sunset Wilds as I play mid-high level competitive. I see almost everyone else around me look at it just like another boring bagger, and casuals will see the sunset. Also having plenty of shortcut that aside. Can't wait to see your supercut. We're getting there. Thank you for having for me. Of course. I feel like, oh boy, is this a lot? Okay. 3 kind of love for having the highest item box set per lap, but hate for the aesthetic. Bathrooms are gross. LA, I love the weird aesthetic choice like the drilling. I hate for having no sense at gameplay wise. I entirely agree with you though. Okay. I'm not told I'm wrong. I want to be that. I'm pretty sure the person who thinks that is. Who thinks what?
Territory of
okay, this is a thing responding to Yo Schiller, so not my problem. Ultimate deserved a grade for their project. Yeah, of course. Make a few notes here. So I did previously. Okay, we got the BCP Part 2 Rory comment. Lock in, chat. We're gonna be here for a bit. While Satan receives lots of praise and not much reason for why why I had it in C tier. I think I justified. I think I fixed that. Moonveer Highway in F tier. Okay, you know what? Fair and honest. Okay. DK Mountain. I don't know if I have a popular, unpopular opinion. I just unfortunately am on the opposite of how I feel about it. Moonview, I got the feeling doesn't have much in MK8. Main thing for me is how much of it inconsequential, basic the ending cut feels. I guess. Appreciate good driving does matter still, but shock changes everything, and this is one track in the game that exaggerates distance of every item set. Yeah, it really does. But at the end of the day, it's still so fun. I don't know what to say. I me putting DK Mountain as high as I am might feel like it's a 3DS River Road type thing where it's not actually because it gives good races, but because it feels so good to drive. I'm willing to accept that possibility. Is what it is. Also exaggerates item. But doesn't feel as broken with only the first set being influenced. That track feels like it's balanced to reward every position in the right way, despite lacking shortcuts in and the front can't take. Um, set play on that course makes a lot of sense. Sure. I never got people acting like Sunset Wild. Yeah, we love Sunset Wilds. So I think so. It's looking like we have a pretty solid. Like I'm factoring all of this feedback, and it's really not changing anything. But I had to be thorough, you know. Summit. So we already have Summit. Deeply hated. Waves 4 through 6. I think I've missed 6 seasons of my channel. All right, well, that is all of the feedback, I think. I think that is all the feedback, so going through these in order. Dry Desert, Toad Turnpike, Rainbow Road, Twisted Mansion, Mario Kart Stadium, Water Park, Wario Stadium, Sweet Canyon, Cloudtop Cruise, and Sunshine Airport, Moonview Highway. These are the tracks that make up the F tier. I think all of them deserve to be here. I think I justify all of that. All of these are tracks that are just kind of every time they get picked, I really don't want to be here. And I especially like the separation between the bottom 4 and the ones above them, because those bottom 4 are awful for me. Then in D tier we got Tokyo Blur, which does so much but accomplishes so little. Hyrule Circuit, Wario Goldmine, Rock Mountain, DK Jungle, Baby Park, Excite Bike, Singapore Speedway, Bangkok Rush, Mario Circuit, and Squeaky Clean Sprint. You know what? I'm going to make a statement here. Morbius above Squeaky Clean Sprint. Because I feel like they are really good foils for each other. Squeaky Clean Sprint is how not to design a stage in terms of trying to be too ambitious. And Mario Circuit is how not to design a stage in terms of being too safe. Because Mario Circuit, at the end of the day, I think gives more interesting races and has quality shortcuts, but has nothing else. Like, nothing else about Mario Circuit is remotely enjoyable. Whereas Squeaky Clean Sprint tries so much and over-designs in a way that is actively damaging to its reputation, to what it's trying to accomplish. So I think having those right next to each other is a very strong statement to make. And I think it's a very good separation of D tier and C tier. Piranha Plant Cove I might move down into a D tier right before Squeaky Clean. I think I enjoy Squeaky Clean more than Piranha Plant Slide, probably. Do I? I don't know anymore. It doesn't do enough wrong. I can't hate Piranha Plant Slide that much, even though I have like a mild don't hold forward trauma. That's so messy, honestly. So in C tier of things that I really can't be bothered to have too strong of an opinion on, Morbius, Piranha Plant Slide, Wildwoods, Mushroom George, Cheap Cheap Beach, Sky High Sunday, TikTok Clock, Bowser Castle, Los Angeles Laps, Ice Outpost, Shy Guy Falls, Daisy Circuit, Melody Motorway, Electrodrome, Sydney Sprint, and Waluigi Pinball. Honestly, Waluigi Pinball deserved more than C tier. I think Waluigi Pinball and Sydney Sprint probably both deserved it. Well, do I really want to bloat my B tier? Does my B tier really... Do I really want to bloat my B tier like that much? Because I think Waluigi Pinball, I think I have positive opinions on. I think Waluigi Pinball deserves more justice. I'll put it up. Yeah, because Waluigi Pinball deserves more than 3DS Rainbow Road does. Why'd I put Waluigi Pinball so low, honestly? Waluigi Pinball can go above Thwomp Ruins, above Daisy Cruiser, honestly. Would I pick Dragon Driftway or Waluigi Pinball? Probably Dragon Driftway. I think that's where it gets. Sydney Sprint, I do tend to pick City Tracks a little bit more, but that's going to bloat my B tier, and I don't know if I have the heart to do that. Ultimately, I think Sydney Sprint is justified in being in C tier still. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, so then in B tier, we have 3DS Rainbow Road, the most reluctant rating ever. 3DS Rainbow Road, sorry, 3DS Toad Circuit, GBA Mario Circuit, Rosalina Ice World, Ribbon Road, Riverside Park, Mute City, Cheeseland, Thwomp Ruins, Daisy Cruiser, Waluigi Pinball, Dragon Driftway, Sky Garden, New York Minute, Koopa Cape, Sherbet Land, Amsterdam Drift, SNES Rainbow Road, Mario Circuit 3, Waluigi Stadium, Dolphin Shoals. That all seems very in line, I'd say. I think that all checks out. A tier, we got Moo Moo Meadows. Finally, I accepted Moo Moo Meadows. I have finally, the meme is dead. Moo Moo Meadows cow is in Mario Kart World. The hype is gone. We still love Moo Moo Meadows, though. We got 8 Rainbow Road. Hilarious gimmick. I will never... Every time I see it, it makes me laugh. Merry Mountain. I feel like my point has been proven thoroughly. Athens Dash. Animal Crossing. Honestly, Merry Mountain I like more than Athens. I'll drop that. Animal Crossing, London Loop, Yoshi Valley, Toad Harbor, Neo Bowser, Royal Raceway, Madrid, Shroom Ridge, Berlin Byways, and Vancouver. I think Yoshi Valley might have the stocks to get into S tier. I've come to realize that Yoshi Valley more and more is just a really fun track. Yes, it is a bagger. Yes, everyone takes the bridge, but the thing is that the more I've played Yoshi Valley, the more I realize there's less reason that everyone should take the bridge. Because honestly, the different routes are given value from their coins in a way I think that does have some degree of sustenance, I guess. I think Yoshi Valley stocks are running high. I'm not going to say every route has a reason to exist. Well, why don't we investigate that actually? Why don't we investigate the stock We'll investigate that after I finish going through these. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Finish the job first. Berlin Byways drops in, so everything else here I think is just a standout example. It's like, yeah, this is a quality track design, that's good. S tier. Only Cannon Route is useless. Cannon Route does technically give you more coins than the cave route, for what it's worth. But, I digress. We got Mount Wario, we got Maple Treeway, we got Donut Plains 3, Roma Avanti, Super Bell Subway, Peach Gardens, Paris Promenade, Bowser Castle 3, Big Blue, Coconut Mall, Piranha Plant, Cove, Boo Lake, Grandma Volcano, Mario Circuit, and Yoshi Circuit. Yeah, those are all just stand out. Like, these are elegantly, like, amazingly designed. I think I agree with all this. Is enough coins for what you need. Race, also time trial route lap 1. And also another reason to possibly take the cannon route is if someone else is taking the tunnel route and you want to make sure you get coins, cannon. It's something, it's very niche, but it is an alternative. I don't know. And on a bagging track, you can take a risk like that. I don't know. And then in our top 10, DK Summit, Yoshi's Island, Wii Rainbow Road, Bone Dry Dunes, Calamari Desert, Snowland, Choco Mountain, DK Mountain, Sunset Wilds, and Ninja Hideaway. I don't know about you, but I think I am happy with this final results. It's very strange how much my top 5 has changed, but I really think I do support where we're at. I wish I could put Bone Dry Dunes higher, but I think for the sake of everything, I need to accept that Bone Dry Dunes has conditions where it does really suck. The 200cc Bone Dry Dunes and the lag Bone Dry Dunes cannot be ignored. That does just kind of suck. If you can't get used to the friction of Bone Dry Dunes, you're gonna have a bad time. This is my list though, and I get to choose the birthday party, venue. So, I think it's fine where it is, but like that's where we get controversial. All right. Well, that's our list. I'm gonna for one, I don't think I need to do this, but I need to justify to myself putting Yoshi Valley into S tier, because this does feel like it's a slightly notable change to make, and I think I do want to justify it to myself real quick. I don't care about items. I just want to get a glimpse of Yoshi Valley. Honestly, I could do this. Alright, well, we can get this out of here. Alright. So, all of that said and done. So, let's take a look at some of these routes. So, this is probably the only route right here that I never see anyone take. Because this is just cave, but with more steps, basically. Like, I mean, I never see anyone take this route. Either one of these, honestly. Maybe I should experiment with some of these routes, but like honestly, there's possibly some sauce to find here. The cannon route feels like it's kind of the obvious choice if you don't want to take cave. I probably should have done this in time trial so I could really see how many different coins are available, but I was like, oh, but they'll disappear. It's fine. If I become French, though, it'll make my job easier to track you down. What do you mean? Alright. Okay, so if you go left here, this is cave, right? Yeah, this is cave. Okay, that's cave with extra steps. We love custom items. Alright, so this can get you to... Okay, so no, this is the better route for more coins than cave route, because cave route we'll see on lap 3. So that's better than cannon then. Okay. But overall, I would say that I still support putting this into S tier. I think there is... the depth of just how many... Like, I originally critiqued this track for not having enough reasoning for all of the routes. I think I can justify that now. I forgot to take the... Hold on. I messed up. So I already determined that there's 4 coins available on that route. So if I take cave route... We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you're really not getting 5 unless you're really racing like a maniac. You're probably only getting 3, and especially if you're competing, if you really want to stock up on coins, you're going to want to take the other route that I just took. Yeah, so honestly, every route does have a reason to exist. A pretty decent one too. Well, there we go. So, with that, I can now justify promoting Yoshi Valley into S tier. I'll go ahead and put it. Honestly, this has kind of become a hood classic. I'll put it up here right above Peach Gardens, I'd say. Alrighty. I'll look back at that one more time just so y'all see where I put it. Yoshi Valley is right here. That's what we're looking at. That's what the order of the supercut's gonna be. You have now been spoiled, and you probably won't have much reason to go back to that. But hey, I think I'm happy with that. It is 3 in the morning. I should get some damn sleep. Thank you all for tuning in to my final Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tier list, probably. Keyword probably, but it's gonna be what's gonna show up in the video. So, now that we're done with that, why don't I give y'all someone to raid into? Shenpai's playing Muse Dash? I mean, I'm interested in seeing her play funny weeb rhythm game. So, we'll go ahead and raid Shenpai. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you can catch Peach Tower next time. The VOD will be posted tomorrow on my second channel if you want to see that. I'll see about actually having a schedule soon. No promises, though. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Let's go ahead and raid Shenpai. Later, y'all.